So I'm just an idiotic, stupid dog, and I come home the other day from a nice little stroll around the grounds of the manor house. The grounds of the manor house are so expansive. We're right in the center of a residential area within and more of an urban landscape, but yet we just don't have crows and squirrels. We got woodchucks, we got raccoons, opossums. We got a couple turkey, and believe it or not, we got a few deer. Not all the time. The deer don't always stay there. But we got fruit trees, nut trees, everything. There's, believe it or not, in our little 3.5 acres situated right here in this posh, rich man's residential area within the confines of a urban, just outside a few blocks, you get into the, I don't want to say sleazy or scuzzy or, more fucked up neighborhoods, but, whatever. We have white-tailed deer. There's always a couple hidden someplace. Sometimes we got like 12 white-tailed deer. They're eating off the blueberry bushes, the American chestnut trees, the whatever you say, the black walnuts, the sweet gums. And also we've got gardens, we got everything. So don't worry about it. But here's what I'm just going to say. Let me just begin this by saying dogs ain't afraid of death. That's the one good thing about dogs. On the one hand, you die when you're 16. On the other hand, you have dog remembrance. You can think way back past even the time where you were born. You can see vivid, real memories because there's a cloud that floats above all the canine species, and we share this, and we can access it. We can see things that happened back, when General George Washington was trying to figure out if he wanted ivory or slave's teeth to, constitute his false teeth. Whatever, it doesn't matter. So anyways, but dogs, we're not afraid of death. That's the one thing. We get dog remembrance, and we don't give a shit. We're not afraid of death. No one cares. You're like, whatever, But the man, I came home, and he was all lamentful. He was kind of getting wasted drunk on some kind of a liquor drink with lemonade mixed in it. I don't even know what's going on. He was sitting on that swing that I think you call it a porch swing. His head was furrowed. His brow was, whatever you say, furrowed. His head was hanging low. He was he was cradling his own head in his own hands. I was like, jeepers, creepers, buddy, what's going on? He says, right again, it's always the same thing. My penis doesn't work. I'm like, your penis doesn't work. You're 56 years old. You chewed tobacco. You smoked. Now you're trying to dabble in smoking weed. You drank like a fish. I mean, so why? Penis doesn't work. They got Viagra, so what are you worried about? They got Cialis. What are you trying to tell me? Get some Viagra. He goes, I got Viagra, but just, every once in a while you get in the shower, you want to pull one off, it's like a limp noodle hanging down there. I got to take a Viagra, and then I get all stuffy. I don't like it when I take Viagra. It doesn't really work for me. I'm not a Viagra guy. So, well, then find some Cialis. He goes, I need to get some goat root. Whatever, it doesn't matter. But I was saying to myself, you know what? I got my balls cut off when I was 1 1/8 years old. Just as a young pup, they come up to me and said, hey, come on, boy, you want to go to the park? You want to go have a good time? You want to have some fun? I was like, yeah, let's go to the park. All of a sudden, I realized we were going to the vet. I was like, we're going to the vet? What? They gave me some things. The manor house, the people in the manor house, the man and his dad, it was mostly his dad. The boy was, whatever. But anyways, I got my balls cut off. They gave me a little, I don't know if it was like dog Xanax or something, so I didn't mind that much. I didn't even know what was going on. And afterwards, I was like, oh my God, I'm so sore. But I was groggy. I didn't feel it. And they bought me a Happy Meal. On the way home, they went to McDonald's and they got me a Happy Meal. And I was like, this cheeseburger's so good. I was under the influence of the drugs to calm me down. I was like, oh my God, this is almost worth having this pain. This was almost worth having my first Happy Meal was almost worth having my balls cut off. But then come to find out it isn't. A lifetime of Happy Meals doesn't make up for a lifetime of keeping your balls. But whatever. I mean, that Happy Meal, that helped. I was like, they were kind of nice about that. They got me a Happy Meal. That was my first ever Happy Meal. But whatever. The one thing I'll say, though, is that the man, he was bringing on thoughts of death. Thoughts of death were crossing his mind, and it all began because his penis doesn't work as good. I was like, bud, so what? Your penis doesn't work. You got half half-mast boners. Half-mast boners, He's like, you can't really whack off with a half-mast boner. It's disgusting. It fills your mind with thoughts of dread. It's like taking 2 Benadryl and trying to whack off. It doesn't make any sense. Whatever. But the whole point I was trying to make is dogs, we're not afraid of that. We don't have no, I got my balls chopped off. Then like 3 days later, it's like, oh, fuck, man. I got my balls chopped off. Oh, well, so I'm a eunuch. Whatever. I went on with my life, I could still sniff other dogs' asses. I could still pee in the communal place and see what's going on. I could still do whatever. I just couldn't procreate. But guess what? When you don't have no balls, you don't even care if you can procreate. It doesn't even matter. You don't even worry about it. But dogs, the best thing about us, not the best thing is probably dog remembers, because we can access things throughout all history, and then we can formulate, philosophical, we could undertake philosophical endeavors, and we could figure shit out. And once you become a talking dog, there's very, very few. I might be the only one, even though those collars are for sale right in Guadalupe. Get on the internet. Everybody could have a talking dog if you want, but no one seems to do it. I don't understand that one either. But anyways, dogs, we're not afraid of death. That's one thing we were blessed with. We don't get to go to heaven. We only live 16 years. Every year you live 7 years. What? I said it's a year. I didn't live 7 years. I lived 1. It's a bunch of bullshit. You're 16, you're on death's door, but whatever. It's okay. But the thing about it is that dogs, we just have no fear of death. I don't know if it was Jehovah God or Mother Nature who give us that blessing. We don't even care. You're like, oh my shit, I'm going to die. You know what? I'm going to go take a nap, And usually what happens is you start pissing and shitting all over yourself, and your master takes you off and gets you a shot and puts you down. You're like, fuck, I could live like 6 more months. You sure you want to do this? Same thing when they take you off to get your balls chopped off. They don't give a fuck. They're like, come on, big guy. You want to come on? We're going to go out to the park. We're going to go walk in a meadow. You ready? They take you and they put you down. And afterwards, you don't get no Happy Meal after that. After your balls are chopped off, you might get a Happy Meal. After they put you down, guess what? It's just the eternal dirt nap, whatever. It doesn't even really matter, but the thing is, as a town dog, I feel pretty good about my chances. I might die in the porch swing. I might die out there in a sunny spot. Out in the Serengeti with the wild dogs, the way the wild dogs die, you get really limpy, gimpy. You can't really do good anymore. Everybody's like, oh, shit, bud, I don't know about you, and they start turning their back on you. And then somebody, when you're really low down, you're really tired, you're having a good nap, you've had a few good naps, you're like, hey, this ain't so bad, that ain't so bad. And then somebody comes along and eats you alive. You're fucking ripped apart as you lay there trying to die in peace. Somebody out in the Serengeti, out in the wild, they eat you. That's how you die in the wild. Just think about them lions. A lion, he's the king of the jungle. His roar obfuscates against the whole, whatever. It lilts and tilts off of all the foliage. Everybody knows when the lion roars, okay? And the lion, he's a big thing, and he's just romping and rolling, and he beats the shit out of everybody around him. He doesn't care. He's got a harem. Well, guess what? 4 or 5, lions, they get to live like 4 or 5, maybe 6 on the outside. All of a sudden, they had so many battles. They're so ripped up. They're so torn up. They get weak. The lionesses, they turn their back on you. As soon as you're not the most virile cat in the jungle, they turn their back on you. It's disgusting. It's vicious how that happens. And then, lo and behold, 2 lions come along. It's always 2. Then they battle out to see who's the supremacist lion, but 2 fucking lions come, and you're all bony and sickly, and you're old, you want to die in peace, and they fucking rent you apart. They rip you apart. They get you down, they get you in a chokehold, and they first thing they do is rip your balls off and your penis. They open up your belly, they spill out your guts, and you're there crying and doing the lion girdle things like, this sucks, I can't believe this shit. That's how a lion dies. Dogs out in the wild, same thing. A hyena comes and eats you. If you're not too lucky, your own pack will friggin' eat you. You get in a drought situation, you're like, who's the skinniest old bastard here? Look at those ribs. I would love a few of those ribs that boy's sporting. And they rip you apart. That's how you die in the old, in the wild out in the Serengeti. It's a vicious, horrifying end to your life. And maybe that's better that way. You're like, God bless, take me away, put me out of my misery. I'm not afraid of death. I'm praying for death. But as a town dog, all you got to do is you got to wait. You bask in it. You eventually get cancer. You eventually shit all over yourself. You piss all over yourself. If you're in a man house, maybe they put you on a pen. They feed you some good steak. Maybe you get 3 or 4 Happy Meals or whatever. They take you to the vet. They put you to sleep. You're like, oh, God, I know what this is. All right. You're like looking out the window trying to get a view of the last things you're going to see. Look at the Chevron station, the Shell station, big fat girl walking down the road, some kids playing hopscotch a couple kids of different variations, derivations, ethnic heritages. They're playing together, playing hopscotch, or they're skipping ropes or something. It's beautiful. The sun's dappling through, like trying to get anything. Like, this is it. We're going to the vet. They're going to put me to sleep. These are my last few visuals, but whatever. It's all right. The main thing is, the whole point is, dogs don't give a shit. They're not afraid of it. They don't care. Like, oh, God, I got to get a few more visuals. This is it. Then you have maybe you try to get in a dog remembrance thing and try to remember something. Maybe you try to hang out with Napoleon and Genovese. Maybe you go all the way back as far as you can go. Maybe it's Thomas Jefferson. They're writing the Declaration of Independence. It's, you, as a dog, a town dog, the end is coming. But the good thing about it is you're not worried about it. I mean, I'm 16, going on death, and I could give a rat's ass, whatever. It's all right.